everyone, and welcome back to Dr. Reverno Gherkin's Wedding Chapel. Now, we're going to experiment a little bit here on this episode, because what you are hearing right now is me talking. But I'm not playing the game right now. I'm playing the game in the footage. I didn't grab someone else's gameplay footage, but I'm currently watching the footage on playback, and let's open up Chapter 2, or Chapter 1.
Favors to get the goods on the Claw Gang's local operator.
Oh.
Dimitri, a sort of underworld celebrity, equally at home in high-class art circles and shady back-alley crimes.
I feel like that's the case, though, for most high-profile
He
celebrities.
was once a passionate young art student who worked hard to develop his own visionary style.
Uh-huh. Ooh. I see he's going a little bit Maud Lebowski on us.
Unfortunately, the art world wasn't quite ready for his kinetic aesthetic.
Who had the tomato bar just sitting there? Who brings a tomato salad bar to the art gallery? That's outrageous. Also, did all these masterpieces have lizards in them, or was that his own little artistic addition?
Colorful light shows and a hint of danger lure in chic young patrons from far and wide.
I mean, you gotta love that hint of danger.
Where we'll find the clockwork tail feathers.
Ooh, he is styling. He's just making that look work for him real nice.
Beyond me. But those plans end tonight.
Ooh, you better watch yourself. Sly Cooper and the gang in the Black Chateau. That's my little French evil laugh. I hope you liked it. Even though I don't think Dimitri is very French. Or maybe he is, I don't know. I know this level takes place in Paris, which is a great little callback to the opening of Sly 1 when you think about it, because the first game opened with a level in Paris, so we were breaking into Carmelita's office then. And now it works as a sort of like great nighttime aesthetic. The music is very sneaky, and the atmosphere is very much that European kind of ooh-la-la sort of chic thing going for it. It really helps out with the whole, introducing you into the world of Sly 2. Because you get the first level, and you understand through the first level, okay, so Bentley and Murray will be playing a more active role in this game than they did in Sly 1. But it's not really until you start playing the Dimitri level that you realize how much the game has changed. And that's why setting it in Paris makes it so clever, because it pretty much functions as a new beginning to the series. Because what will now become the default standard of the Sly franchise, where, say, in Game 1, you had these, Mario 64 kind of overworlds that functioned like sort of Peach's Castle or something. They sort of, acted as overworlds into the different little miniature linear levels that were platformers in and of themselves. This one, the overworld is the platforming level, and you spend the entirety within that overworld and just sort of traverse it like it's a lived-in environment. And you can understand how the characters would live in this kind of environment and how they all operate and that sort of thing. It gives the universe of Sly an extra dimension which isn't present within the more traditional linearity of Sly 1. So you're going to be seeing here as well with the gameplay some weird moments where I jump in the wrong places, or I don't stop moving when I want to stop moving, or the camera will start doing something weird. And this is because, in a similar fashion to my PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3 controllers I've been working with, the analog sticks are starting to wear on them. They can't really, they're a little bit sticky. They can't really distinguish between when you're moving them and when you're not moving them. They kind of default to these positions which act almost as it'll be moments where, say, Sly will always be moving forward no matter what I do. So you have to kind of compensate for that a little bit, which is it's easier said than done, I guess would be the phrase. So hopefully that's not going to be tripping us up too much in this playthrough. But I also want to talk about why I'm post-commentating, because this is a big thing I came to realize. I was wondering for a while why on playthroughs like Battle for Bikini Bottom and in particular Super Mario Bros. Because Battle for Bikini Bottom made a little bit more sense because I had Nick and Rob there with me. But I was wondering when I was playing through Super Mario Bros. On my own why it seemed so much easier for me to commentate over that game than when I would be doing more dedicated records like Sly or like Sonic Heroes. And I think I've come to the realization of why it's been like it's harder for me to really commentate on games like Sly 2. And I think it is really because in these newer games the characters never shut up.
Why? If you click the L3 button, press the left analog stick. I
They just never stop talking, ever. And it actually, like, becomes a distraction because it's one thing if you're playing through a game and you just have to focus on hitting buttons in the correct order. But if you're talking and then someone in the game is talking and you're talking over top of them, the natural inclination is to let them talk. Or maybe it is for me. You want to hear what they're saying. And in a lot of this level, at least, it's Bentley's giving tons of tutorials. And I understand why. I mean, this game is, after all, rated E for everyone. It is a kid's game. But, which seems to be the bread and butter of this program. But there's just so much talking in this game that I almost feel like I'm battling with the game over who's allowed to speak. And I recorded this through with commentary, and I just would spend like 2 minutes saying nothing because I was just waiting for the characters to shut up. And so I decided while I was recording this gameplay, I was like, you know what? I think maybe I don't want to say for the whole game, but I'd say maybe at least for the Dimitri level, I'm gonna be doing my commentary after the fact because then I can focus on talking and not have to worry about missing a key piece of dialogue. Because the thing with commentary, and I kind of touched upon this in a Sonic Heroes video that it will be coming out next week if I have my schedule correct. There's two different commentary modes that you really can give to a game, or at least I really can give, because there's two. I'm of the mindset that I think it's more enjoyable as a show if I do commentary in what I call the Riff Tracks way, or as some might know, the Mystery Science Theater 3000 way, which is if the game story kind of goes on and I sort of make wisecracks in between the little gaps and pauses. That's sort of my natural inclination in scenarios such as this, where there's so much talking that I kind of want to hear what they're saying so I can make wisecracks of what they're talking about. But then there's also the other direction you can go in a gameplay video, which is that you are reacting to how the game is playing. So in, say, a Super Mario Bros. Scenario, a lot of my commentary would be like sort of me going, okay, I cannot get through this level. Whereas in a Sly scenario, I'm more acclimated to doing it Mystery Science Theater 3000, where I riff on what's happening within the game. And in scenarios like this with Sly 2, where there's so much tutorial going on, because they have to, like, they've pretty much re-overloaded the system. You're, like, reintroducing people to a whole new set of mechanics within a franchise they already know. Because there's so much tutorial with it, it becomes one of those things like, the game actually overpowers my commentary. So I needed to really do away with that in order to make this, show worth watching, and not just being, a giant waste of time. So with that said, let's talk about this game. Because I tried to talk about it before in the first episode, and by the way, you'll still hear me ramble incoherently, because, purist I am, I'm only doing this commentary in one take. I'm not going to be doing 2 takes of this commentary, so Whatever I say right now is what I say in the video. But we see now here a big thing. They've de-emphasized combat. There were big enemies in the first Sly game, but you really could take them all out because they all would go down in one hit. And as you've seen earlier in this video alone, and also, well, not this video alone, the enemies now are stronger. They take more than just one hit to knock out. And some enemies, like the flashlight guards, the big ones, like them, if you're playing as anyone other than Murray, they are pretty much impossible to take out. They just are not, you know, if you take on the flashlight guards as Sly, it's pretty much like that guy who's in Tiananmen Square who like stood in front of that tank, you know, for a little bit. You know, if it had ever come to it, that tank was gonna win, but you know, that's pretty much what it becomes. You can take on like smaller enemies like these rats, but they still take a couple of hits and they can knock off points from your health meter. Which, you know, at the very least, you know, you could have a health meter now. So it's not like you need those Lucky Charms or those horseshoes or the golden horseshoes or whatever. You now can pretty much like just run through the level and take a couple of hits, but the combat is not advised. It's a bit like the Metal Gear series in that sense. It de-emphasizes combat to focus more on stealth, which I think is, you know, appropriate for a sneaking and sleuthing thief game like the Sly Cooper franchise is. So we've now introduced another new element, which is using the Binocucom camera to take surveillance photos of the scenario. And from this, Bentley will be building up... The formula now for the rest of the Sly series is going to be that each level pretty much functions within 4 different acts, which is the first act is getting surveillance photos to figure out what the criminal of the week's plan is and what their operation is and how it's running. And then Act 2 is collecting, you know, extra surveillance so Bentley can start planning out a method of heisting, a bit Ocean's 11 like that. And then Act 3 is putting all the pieces in place that the heist can happen. It's sort of setting up for the heist. And then Act 4 is the heist itself. Hey, look who it is. It's everyone's favorite purple lizard. It's Dimitri. Nice, nice. I gotta get a good picture of him. He's definitely, look at that. Look at that, suave. Look at that cool, dank, suave. You know what suave is? That's suave. Nice. Okay. Well, if I am not mistaken, I do believe we are approaching the end of this episode, but Bentley's gotta fill us in first on some details of the heist.
The recon photos are a grim reminder of what the modern thief is up against.
I know, right? They don't make thieving as easy as it used to be.
The sum of it all renders a direct assault impossible.
Well, I mean, like what, were you thinking you were gonna run through the front door and just smash everything? I know you got away with that in Sly 1, but you can't do that all the time.
He has in his office. Once in place, we should be able to listen in on his communications.
Ooh, his communications.
If you see the boss, tail him. We might learn something from studying his movements.
He's so graceful. He's like a ballet dancer.
Proper understanding of the operation, those clockwork tail feathers are as good as ours.
Very nice, very nice. This seems to be the most inconsequential clockwork part, his tail feathers. But, oh well, I'd say that's a good place to wrap it up this week. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ding the bell to be notified about when new videos come out. Smash the like button and share the video with your friends. On the screen, you'll see more episodes of The Gaming Weekend and a couple of Nick's videos from Serenade of Caffeine. And we will see you all next week. Bye-bye. You.